All right, I like this house. How do we buy it?
What if we just copy address, drive up to house, knock on door and say, let's buy this house, can we?
I like. Maybe no one home and we get to have it.
I think you're excellent at this purchasing process.
We are good. Let's go. Hey, welcome to episode 6 of First Time Home Buying and Selling. I'm Josh Madison, residential real estate broker in the state of Arizona. I broke the purchase process up into 2 parts because I didn't want to overload you with too much information at once. In part 1, we'll cover getting your offer accepted. We'll explain the seller property disclosure statement and how you can use this as a valuable tool. And finally, what you can expect from licensed inspectors that you hire during your due diligence/inspection period. So let's get into it. All right, you're all pre-approved for your loan. You know how much down payment you're going to need, how much your closing costs are going to be, what kind of home your loan has you pre-approved to buy. You're all ready to call a realtor and go out shopping. If I got that call as your realtor, I'd say, okay, sounds great. Looks like you've done all your prep work, but I would recommend having an extra $1,000 at least for when you get your offer accepted. Oh, more money. Yes, unfortunately, but you're probably going to want to hire licensed inspectors to inspect the home once your offer is accepted. We'll dive deeper into that a little later in this episode. You see, if you have a realtor representing you as a buyer's agent, it could simplify the house hunting and viewing of homes that you want to get inside and see. If you have a good realtor, they'll look out for your best interests from start to finish. Let me give you another example. If you're approved for, let's say, $100,000, but you don't want to go any higher than $80,000, make sure you tell your realtor that up front. They should assist you in finding homes in the price range that you want and that you qualify for with your loan. Realtors have to go to school and be licensed in the state that you are buying. Their expertise can be priceless, saving you tons of time, research, and hopefully some money. Besides finding properties, showing you the properties, and negotiating your offer, a realtor will assist you with the lengthy sales contract and all the addendums that go along with it. The good news is you usually don't have to pay the buyer's realtor out of your own pocket. They get paid a co-op fee from the listing agent that charges the seller a commission to sell their house. So you have a realtor looking out for your best interests that you don't have to pay out of pocket. Speaking of looking out for your best interests, let's get into some scenarios of when you make an offer on a house. Now, there's a lot of scenarios that can play out when you find a home you want to make an offer on, depending on what kind of market we're in. For example, if it's a hot seller's market where a home goes up for sale and already has multiple offers on it before the end of the day, then most likely there won't be any negotiating room for you to get a lower price or to get the seller to pay your closing costs. Then again, if it's a buyer's market where there's more supply, homes on the market for sale, than there is demand, buyers willing to buy, then it's a lot easier to find a negotiable seller who is willing to bend on price and possibly pay the closing costs as well. Your realtor will be able to guide you on that, and you will already be full aware of what kind of market you're in because you listened to episode 1 of this podcast. Since there are so many different things that can happen with each sale that you're negotiating, let's stick with a simple example that you found the home you want. You signed your contract and got your offer accepted. Let's say you made a deal with the seller for that $100,000 because you didn't like any of the homes for $80,000 or $90,000. So your offer is accepted. Now what? Well, since we made up a price, let's make up some dates to go along with this. Your offer is accepted on November 1st. If all goes well, your closing date is set for December 1st. So basically a 30-day escrow period. Maybe a few days less since most banks and title companies will be closed on weekends and holidays. Let's not forget about that long weekend for Thanksgiving. So what happens now? Well, for starters, your realtor takes your accepted offer forms to the title/escrow company and opens escrow along with your earnest money. Earnest money? What's that? Well, in short, it's similar to a deposit that's held by the escrow company when your offer is accepted. It's basically good faith showing your earnest intent to buy the home. Your earnest money can be some of your down payment or closing cost money, and it can be applied to either one when the sale closes on December 1st. But in the meantime, you write out a check for, let's say, $500 to the title company of your choice and officially open escrow. The title company deposits your earnest money check, holding it in good faith as a neutral third party according to the rules of the contract that we will get into later. Along with your offer acceptance, your earnest money deposit, and opening escrow, you will receive the SPDS, which stands for Seller Property Disclosure Statement, at least in the Arizona contract. You receive the SPDS the first 5 days of contract acceptance. The SPDS is basically a 200+ yes or no questionnaire that the seller has to fill out. You have to initial every page and sign and date the last page. The Seller Property Disclosure Statement can be a wealth of information for you. It has a list of information about the home that the seller has to fill out, like plumbing, electrical, roofing, pest issues, termites, environmental issues, any additions added to the home with or without permits, etc., etc., etc. This is supposed to be everything the seller is aware of. It's a great tool to bring with you to the home inspection and to tell any issues to your home inspector. Speaking of your home inspector, upon offer acceptance, your inspection period begins. Your inspection period, also called your due diligence period, in the Arizona contract is a 10-day period, which is pre-written into the contract language. There is also a section where you can make that longer or shorter of a period if it should be negotiated that way. Basically, for the first 10 days, you can self-inspect or hire any inspector you feel necessary or that your lender may require. If you're getting an FHA loan, they'll make you sign a form for your protection, get a home inspection, which is basically a requirement to hire a home inspector. Hiring inspectors is where having that extra $1,000 will come in handy. It's highly recommended that you hire a licensed home inspector to thoroughly inspect the home from top to bottom. The charge for this can vary depending on the size of the house, but on average can be between $300 and $600. Depending on the loan you're using, the lender might require a termite inspection as well. I believe FHA requires this and possibly VA, but the rules are always changing, so you'd want to check with your lender on that. A pest inspection or termite inspection can average anywhere between $50 and $100 usually. Now, I know these inspections may seem like a lot of money just to have the home inspected, but think of it this way. A home inspector finding a costly defect like faulty electrical wires that could cause a fire, leaking plumbing, roofing, or a list of other issues could save you thousands or even your life from discovering them too late. Same with a termite inspector possibly finding the frame of your home and roof is on the verge of collapse from years of untreated termite infestations. These, along with many other possible home issues you need to know up front before committing $100,000 and payments for 30 years, are necessary. A few $100s to have that checked isn't so bad when you look at it that way. When your licensed home inspector completes the inspection, they will usually have a 30-page plus report to email or print out for you to have, going over every item they inspected in the home and usually digital pictures of any repair items they discovered. Have you ever heard the saying, a picture speaks 1,000 words? That's definitely the case when you're trying to explain exposed electrical wires in the attic where nobody usually goes. Clear digital pictures is all you need to negotiate that repair with the seller. The same goes with the termite/pest inspector. A written report with the map of the house layout showing any areas they found evidence of past or present pest infestations is given to you. I know horror stories in Arizona of people finding scorpion infestations in the home after the sale was closed. I can't emphasize enough to take advantage of your inspection period/due diligence period, as they call it in the contract. Some other items that you might want to look at that don't come up from your home inspector or from a pest inspector are a variety of possible factors that you may want to inspect during your 10 days, and this could vary for each individual person, but here's an example of a few. How about neighborhood factors? What's it like throughout that neighborhood every day and night? Do you have a neighbor with his hot rod car that he revs the engine all night long as he's fixing it? How's the crime in the neighborhood? If you have kids, what's the school system like? How about your commute to work? Are you in the vicinity of an airport or train noise? There could be an entire episode for just inspection or due diligence period. but for sake of time, we'll keep moving forward with what you can expect during the sale process. Okay, all your inspections are complete as you near the end of your 10-day due diligence period. Whatever you discover from the different inspection reports will dictate what you do next. Meeting with your realtor for this part is highly advised. If the house is in great condition and no major defects are found, then you might be happy to sign off on the inspections and move forward with the sale. If some defects are found that are repairable, well, maybe you want to ask the seller to have those items repaired and then move forward with the sale. Now, if the seller refuses to repair or replace the items, then the ball's back in your court. You can decide to accept the home as is and move forward, or cancel your contract altogether. If you decide to cancel within your inspection period, you should receive a full refund of your earnest money back from the title company. Then you're ready to go back out house hunting. The same thing goes if the inspection comes back with defects that you can't live with, whether the seller agrees to fix them or not. If you find something that you can't live with, you can back out of the sale and receive your earnest money back anytime during your due diligence inspection period. What you won't get back is the inspection money you paid to the inspector to do their job. But like I said, $300 to $600 to possibly save you thousands or your life is well worth it. For the teaching purpose of this podcast, let's say that inspections went great. You're signing off on the inspection period and you're moving forward with the sale. Well, what's next? Let's find out in the next episode of The Purchase Process, Part 2. To summarize Part 1 of the purchase process, we got your offer accepted, we explained the seller property disclosure statement, the SPDS, and how you can use this valuable tool, and we've gone over what you can expect from licensed inspectors you hire during your due diligence/inspection period. Let's finish out your sale in the next episode of The Purchase Process, Part 2.